Today I'm going to talk about evaluating growth potential when hiring. Suppose there are two candidates A and B, and here they are. The y-axis is skill, and B is more skilled than A. Whom should you hire? B, right? But this is a snapshot as of today. How will they be in the future? They might very well be like this, where the x-axis is time and the y-axis is skill. So as of today, yes, B is more skilled than A, but A has a much higher growth potential. Now, whom should you hire? Obviously, A, given that you're not hiring just for today, right? It's not that your engagement with that person will not end next week. It will be for years, hopefully, or at least a year, right? There are two reasons why growth potential is important. One is in every job, we end up doing things that can't be foreseen at the time of hiring. Even if we couldn't possibly interview for every possible skill because we have limited time in the interview. You can evaluate only a few areas and extrapolate based on these. This is why checking for growth potential is critical when hiring. Okay, so if that's the case, how do we do it? A person with high growth potential is curious. He explores things and not just because his employer told him. So I ask questions about different alternatives or frameworks within their area of work. So if he's a backend engineer, I might ask about functions as a service, about backend as a service, about serverless, about frameworks like PostgreSQL, which takes a Postgres database and auto-generates a backend server with CRUD APIs. If you want to have backend logic, you can write it, but if all you need is CRUD, PostgreSQL gives you that. There's another called PostgREST, which is similar. On the commercial side, there is something called Hasura. So I ask about all of these alternatives to just coding up backend. And even among traditional frameworks, I might ask about statically typed versus dynamically typed. Does he have a point of view? Does he feel that dynamically typed frameworks are more productive, for example? A backend engineer who is curious would explore at least some of these. I don't expect anyone to answer every single one of these questions, but I would expect them to answer at least some of them. In addition to asking questions in their area of work, I ask questions outside their area of work. So these same set of questions about backend, I might ask to a backend engineer, which falls within his area of work. I might also ask a front-end engineer these questions. Because again, a person who is curious and has high growth potential explores. He doesn't say, oh, this is backend, I'm not interested. Right? Those are people who have a blinkered view. And some candidates say that to me, hey, why are you asking me these questions? That's a very bad sign. Next, I ask if he keeps exposing himself to ideas from others. Does he listen to podcasts on software engineering? And if he says yes, I ask him to name one to ensure he's not bullshitting me. Has he read a book? Again, not a novel, but something related to software engineering. Has he read a paper? Has he read a PhD thesis? These are actions. Next, I ask about results. I ask him to tell me something new he has learned in the last month. And if he hasn't, it's unlikely he will learn anything new even in this job if he's hired. Next, I ask him to tell me about something he is proud he has built. Doesn't matter whether other people consider it cool or not, but does he get joy out of it? Does he look back fondly on it? People who have high growth potential try out things that are ambitious, that when they try out, they don't know whether they'll be able to do it, and they look back fondly on it. So I ask him about that. I also ask him if there's a hack he has put into the code which he is proud of. Again, if you're doing something ambitious, you'll feel the need to put in hacks. Whereas a person who is cynical and given up on growth, given up on their career prospects, and saying, okay, man, just get a job, just get some money, and is just doing rote work again and again, is unlikely to answer this question well. I also ask if he has a side project. It need not be very fancy. For example, I have a tax calculator. It's a command line Python script. Doesn't even have a GUI. And the entire program is 55 lines. So it need not be something that's super sophisticated. It is more about taking initiative. I had a need to calculate this, so I built it. That's the attitude we're looking for. Has he contributed to an open source project? And if he says yes, I ask him to point out to me. And sometimes they point me to their GitHub page with a bunch of projects, and I ask, which one have you built among these? Or are they all yours? And one guy was caught because he forked a bunch of projects and did nothing. And I looked at the commit history on each of them. And I knew that he was lying to me. Did he help a friend start up? So these are all things about action, be it a side project, be it contributing to open source, helping a friend start up, anything, building an app by himself, whatever. Final set of questions I ask are more about behaviors, like does he have a bias for action? Again, you need to pose a scenario. You can't ask, do you have a bias for action? So in summary, I ask whether he explores different options in his area of work, options outside his area of work, whether he keeps exposing himself to ideas from others, whether he has learned something new in the last month, is he proud of something, and does he do something? Is it just like academic knowledge? Like a lot of people listen to podcasts and watch YouTube videos and read blog posts but do nothing with that knowledge. Right? Especially some of these smart IIT types like myself earlier, they are too much into research and not practical. So does he have a practical bent of mind, be it an open source project, be it a side project, be it an app he's building, be it helping a friend start up, any of these? And finally, does he have the behaviors that are associated with growth, like a bias for action? And also credit to some of my friends for contributing these ideas about evaluating growth potential. If you'd like me to help you hire people with high growth potential, I'll put a link in the description to my consulting website. Thank you.